What's up, you guys? I'm Dee, and welcome back to another According to Who review. Issa's tenets are fucking hilarious. The way she gets into these situations, I don't know. Why is it so raggedy? I don't know. But it's always funny when they confront her about some shit that's gone wrong. So it starts off them confronting Issa about the water being turned off. The little boy in the show is really funny. He always has like a one-liner. Molly doing this weird thing where she invites somebody over to watch her work. You could have left me where I was, sis. Don't invite me over to watch you work. Like, what's the point of me being here? I could have been doing other shit. But she invites her boyfriend over and basically tells him, okay, now you go sleep in my bed and I'll come when I'm ready. But he didn't seem to have a huge problem with it. He kind of like respected it a little bit, but I think it's more so of a habit for her. We'll get back to them a little later. The awesomeness that is whoever the person who curates the music for all things Issa Rae. I recently watched a movie called A Photograph with her in it, and the music in there was bomb. I now understand why Insecure had its own soundtrack when it first came out, because the music is bomb, and the way they always do the outro by playing a song full out. Good looking sis. Condola, and I've been fucking up her name a lot, but I think it's Condola, has been like avoiding Issa, and Issa's trying to make all of these decisions, and she's not really good at making all the decisions. I think she's doing well, but she is running into a lot of issues trying to reach out to Condola about certain things, and she's just not responding. It probably has something to do with the conversation that she had with her boyfriend. Well, not her boyfriend, Issa's ex-boyfriend, the boyfriend that they share. So she kind of asked him like, well, if she hadn't cheated on you, would you still be with her? Which was like a dumbass question, because yeah, he'd still be there. That's kind of how it works. Somebody fucks up and then you leave. You don't just leave for no reason. So that was a dumbass question, but I think that's why she's avoiding Issa, and it's really whack to do somebody like that when you know they're striving to accomplish something and they were dependent on you and you signed up for it. So Issa's doing the natural troll thing when you're reaching out to somebody and they're not answering you. You check their social media, and she active as hell. Stories, Instagram, she posting shit, all of the good stuff. So it's really no excuse. Like, you know you are getting just like ignored or sent to the voicemail. You are fully aware. There's nothing wrong with her. Issa gets ghosted a lot. Y'all remember last season when the little light-skinned dude that they met at the Bayshella? He ghosted her ass too, so maybe it's something with Issa. Issa finds out that they're going to cancel, or the person that she had booked as her headliner for the show ends up dropping out. So she has to find a new headliner. Well, Molly's new boo works for Live Nation, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna utilize this resource, exploit this resource. And y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but if you have friends and your friends know people, is that like not like networking? Like, you're supposed to utilize your resources if you have them to actually utilize? Molly ends up doing some fucked up shit. She tells her, yeah, I'll reach out and I'll ask them, but she hit her with the I guess. I don't really trust them I guesses. That means you really don't want to do it. You just telling me this in the interim, and then you gonna shit on me later. That's how I take a I guess. Or you gonna bring it up, what you did for me, a little bit later. So, but that's neither here nor there. She failed as a friend. I don't know what type of friends y'all got, but my friend circle ain't set up like that. They are my support system and my resources. So if at any point we run into something like that, it's got to make sense. She ends up telling Issa, he's really special to me. This relationship is really special to me, and I want to make sure I'm not mixing the two. Makes no sense. It probably makes sense in her head, but it absolutely makes no sense. I don't think he would have had any problem or felt any type of way. And if he would have said no, it wouldn't even matter. It's just the fact that you asked. But to say, yeah, and I don't think I'm going to ask him after you told her you were, that's kind of fucked up. That's kind of whack. So they're all over visiting the baby. And Lawrence has this interesting conversation with the guy, the father, I don't remember the name, with the father, and he's like, my daughter's beautiful. It breaks my heart to know that some dude is gonna try to finger bang her when she gets older. I thought that was easy. That was so funny. I think guys really think about that, which is weird, but they do. It's like hypersexualizing a kid. Like, why the fuck the first thing you think about is how somebody's gonna be with her sexually? Like, that's a real fear of you. Like, sex is a natural thing. But he went into, I did such and such, and men are really trash, and he was just really dogging guys. He gave y'all no credit. When he told Lawrence that they didn't plan on having a baby, they planned on getting married and traveling the world and buying a house, and how everything just kind of got fucked up, it posed a question to me, like, when you decide to get married, should you plan it and stick to your plans? Like, if you don't plan on having kids, should you be taking the necessary precautions to make sure you don't have kids for 2 years? Or should you just, do it the biblical way, and you don't use protection with your spouse because that's the person that you're supposed to be procreating with? I don't know. I have never been married, but for those who have been married, how successful have you guys been at making sure that you keep the plans for your marriage together? And then the lady started having a conversation surrounding childbirth, and how a lot of black women have the experience where they may be going through something or in pain, and the doctor really just plays it off like it's really nothing. I've heard that conversation a lot. I've experienced it, not me personally, but I've watched it take place. I don't know if it's specific to black women or if it's just specific to pain. Hospitals don't really do well with pain. They rather medicate it and get you doped up so you don't know you're in pain, or put you to sleep. They really don't do anything to try to coach you through the pain. Their favorite solution is just to give you medicine. So I'm going to actually have to pay a little bit more attention to that. I do know the mortality rate for black women giving birth is higher than any other race, and they attribute that to them not listening. The lady in the show was like, she told him she was in pain, and it turned out she had a blood clot. If she didn't have somebody there to advocate for her, she could have possibly died. That's the reality of the medical system in the United States of America. It's really fucked up. But I thought that was that's a really culturally relevant conversation, and they do a really good job on Insecure of making things relevant to the times and what's actually going on. So hats off to them for having that conversation. Molly's giving relationship advice. Girl, fuck you. Nobody is listening to Molly's relationship advice. I'm not gonna lie. What she said it made sense. She was talking about partnership and how vital it is to your life to have somebody that you can depend on and all of this extra jazz, which is true. I just didn't want to hear it coming from Molly. It's certain information you can receive it, but sometimes the messenger just has to be right, and she just wasn't the right messenger. Seeing that she was going through what she was going through last season, and she finally got it right for 2 weeks. Bitch had a nigga for 2 weeks, and now all of a sudden she got a strong support system. But anywho, either way, she's happy. But her advice, it was on point. I thought so. They were talking about caring for the kid, and thank God she doesn't have one of those prehistoric fathers or men that she decided to have a kid with, because he's actually very active, which is not common. I think it's more common now amongst a younger generation, because I think they yearn for that connection as a kid, so therefore they're doing better with their kids. So that was a pretty dope little insight that she gave about their relationship. But I think she's dealing with postpartum depression. She does not seem that excited for a parent. Maybe she's just not as excited about what it is. Sometimes parenthood is not what you think it's going to be. The little girl is cute. She was like, I don't like her, but I love her all the time. I'm like, your baby just got here. Like, how you already don't like it? She can't even talk. When did she start talking like you and giving you that attitude, rolling the neck? that's when you can say stuff like that. But I think she's going through a little adjusting phase where it's like, oh, I'm really a mom and this is my life now. And it really wasn't what they planned. So I get it. I just hope they show her like connecting more with her child. But she seems extremely disconnected from the way they portrayed it in the show. She may have just been like grateful for the help being over there and just was chillaxing. But the way it came across on the show was as if she was really not feeling the motherhood thing. She dropped her motherhood friends, like the women who planned her baby shower, dropped them. And she went back to her old trusty dusty Kelly. I actually really like the way Kelly is showing up. Kelly is adjusting well. I don't think she was ready for her friend to have a baby, but who gives a fuck if she's ready. But I think she's stepping it up in all the right ways. She's doing a really good job playing auntie. But that was that conversation. Lawrence is trying to create little small talk with Issa. I think he was about to tell her that he asked Condola to kind of pull back on the relationship that she was building with Issa because it was kind of making it a little awkward on their end. For some reason, he held back from telling her. I think he did it because she had just really found out that they canceled her headliner for a show, and she had just put out she had just finalized the flyers. So not only is she out of a headliner, now she's out of money because the flyers they're not accurate anymore. That's wasted money. That's fucked up. And when she told Molly, I forgot about this part, when she told Molly what happened, instead of Molly just being like, okay girl, I'll help you, she's interrogating her, looking for an error, like trying to find an error. Molly's a little error hoarder on the low, and I'm not feeling it. Bitch, help me or shut the fuck up. Like, our conversation I want to pose to you guys was when Molly she went on a date with her boo, and he mentioned that he made plans afterwards because her normal routine is we do something early and then you leave me for the rest of the day because you're busy, and now my night is just empty. So he made plans with his boys, and she was like, no, I'm free. And when he said, well, I can just call and cancel, she said no. Help me understand this, people. If you ask for something and somebody says that they're willing to give it to you, why the fuck would you say no? That makes no sense. I don't give a shit how irritated I am that I did not get what I wanted the first time. If you offer it to me, I'm still going to take it. And I'm going to enjoy it because that is what I want. I don't understand why people deny themselves in order to feel as if they're hurting somebody else. That's the dumbest shit in the world. I would have just been like, oh, okay, I'm going to be right here while you call them. I'll be right here. You want something else to drink? Absolutely. I don't get that. Y'all drop down below and let me know what you think about that. Like, do you deny yourself in order to prove a point to others? And what's the rationale behind that? And does that make any sense? And are you really hurting yourself and not them because they still doing what they had plans to do? And do you think they that pressed? Do you think they care? I don't think so. I don't think so. But y'all drop down below and let me know. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been another According to Who review.